Why love doesn't always lead to happiness. Love, often celebrated as the pinnacle of human experience, is widely seen as the key to true happiness. From literature to films, songs to advertisements, we are inundated with portrayals of love as a transformative force that can erase our troubles and deliver unending bliss. However, this portrayal is more an idealistic construct than a universal truth, rooted in romanticism and perpetuated by cultural narratives. This myth has been amplified by media and industries that capitalize on our desires for connection and joy. Greeting cards, diamond companies, and romantic movies have fed us the notion of happily ever after, encouraging us to believe that love is the ultimate solution to life's problems. Yet, this narrative often sets us up for disappointment, as real-life relationships rarely mirror the perfection we've been taught to expect. Most of us, at some point in our lives, have experienced or witnessed the multifaceted realities of love, whether it's the sting of heartbreak, the ache of disappointment, or the frustration of unmet expectations. Love often reveals itself to be far more complicated than the rosy picture painted by romantic tales. Failed relationships can leave us questioning our choices and struggling to understand what went wrong, while the complexities of commitment, balancing individual needs, managing differences, and navigating life's uncertainties show us that love requires far more effort and compromise than we might initially believe. Beyond the romantic ideals we hold on to, life itself has a way of testing the strength of our bonds. Financial struggles, health issues, shifting priorities, or personal growth can create challenges that love alone cannot overcome. For many, these experiences shatter the illusion that love is a magical cure-all capable of solving life's problems and bringing unending happiness. Instead, they provide a sobering realization. Love, while deeply rewarding, is also fraught with imperfections and demands resilience and understanding. Over time, we may adopt a more grounded or even skeptical view of love, recognizing that the idealized version we've been taught to believe in often clashes with the unpredictability and messiness of real life. This doesn't mean love loses its value, but it underscores the importance of approaching it with realism, patience, and a willingness to embrace both its joys and its challenges. One of the fundamental challenges with love lies in the lofty expectations we often place upon it. Society frequently portrays love as the ultimate solution to life's problems, a transformative force that can deliver permanent happiness and protect us from the inevitable hardships of existence. This perception can create an emotional dependence on love, leading people to believe that finding the right partner or experiencing a perfect relationship will somehow erase life's struggles. While love does have the capacity to bring immense joy, comfort, and emotional support, it is far from a magical cure-all. Love, like any other aspect of life, exists within the framework of human imperfection and unpredictability. Relationships are dynamic and influenced by countless factors, including personal challenges, external pressures, and the ever-changing nature of individual growth. While love can serve as a foundation for companionship and mutual care, it is not immune to the trials and uncertainties that define the human experience. True happiness, therefore, cannot rest solely on love or any single aspect of life. It is a multifaceted state of being, emerging from a blend of meaningful connections, personal development, and a sense of purpose. Healthy relationships can enrich our lives, offering emotional stability and shared experiences. But they are only one piece of the broader puzzle. Cultivating a fulfilling life involves not only nurturing love, but also fostering a sense of independence, pursuing passions, and finding value in the journey of growth and self-discovery. Recognizing this balance allows us to appreciate love for what it is, a beautiful, complex, and enriching part of life, but not its entirety. Interestingly, scientific studies have revealed that while love and healthy relationships can indeed elevate happiness, this effect is often temporary rather than permanent. Psychologists like Richard Lucas have conducted extensive research on the relationship between happiness and romantic partnerships, finding that couples tend to experience an initial surge in joy and satisfaction during the early stages of their relationships or major life events such as marriage. However, over time, a phenomenon known as hedonic adaptation comes into play. This concept refers to the human tendency to acclimate to positive or negative changes, ultimately returning to a baseline level of happiness. For couples, this means that the heightened emotional state associated with love, often referred to as the honeymoon phase, gradually diminishes as their relationship becomes part of their everyday routine. This adaptation doesn't imply that love or relationships lose their value or meaning. Rather, it underscores the dynamic and evolving nature of human emotions. Love is not a static experience, and its role in our overall well-being is far more complex and nuanced than the simplistic notion that it guarantees perpetual happiness. This research also sheds light on the broader understanding of happiness itself. It suggests that while love can provide moments of joy, comfort, and connection, it is not the sole determinant of a fulfilling life. Long-term well-being arises from a combination of factors, including personal growth, a sense of purpose, and diverse social connections. Recognizing this can help us approach love with a healthier mindset, appreciating its contributions to our lives while acknowledging that it is one part of a much larger picture of happiness and contentment. Another significant challenge is the belief in the idea of soulmates or a perfect partner. This notion sets us up for disappointment, as no one can truly embody all the ideals we might project onto them. Philosopher Slavoj Zizek points out that when we fall in love, we often create an idealized version of our partner. Inevitably, reality falls short of this fantasy, leading to feelings of dissatisfaction or even resentment. True love isn't about finding someone who meets every expectation, but about embracing someone for who they truly are, imperfections and all. The reality is that relationships require effort, patience, and compromise. They are not about achieving perfection, but about building something meaningful together. A fulfilling partnership involves navigating challenges as a team, learning to communicate effectively, and fostering mutual respect and understanding. Love isn't static. It evolves as both individuals grow and adapt to life's changes. Romantic love is deeply intertwined with our biology, playing a pivotal role in how we experience and sustain relationships. Anthropologist Helen Fisher has extensively studied the science behind love, revealing that romantic attachment is not merely an emotional or cultural construct, but also a physiological process driven by powerful chemical reactions in the brain. When we fall in love, the brain releases a surge of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure, reward, and motivation. This dopamine rush intensifies our focus on the object of our affection, heightens feelings of attachment, and amplifies the desire to bond with our partner. This chemical cascade often explains why the early stages of love feel so exhilarating and all-consuming. It's a time marked by heightened emotions, passion, and a tendency to idealize our partner. Under the influence of dopamine, as well as other chemicals like oxytocin and norepinephrine, we may overlook potential red flags or flaws in our partner's behavior. The intense feelings can make us see our loved one through rose-colored glasses, projecting onto them an idealized version of who we want them to be rather than who they truly are. However, this biologically driven euphoria does not last forever. As the relationship matures, the initial passion gradually subsides. This is not a sign of failure, but rather a natural progression as the brain adjusts to the presence of a long-term partner. What emerges during this shift is the true foundation of a lasting relationship: mutual respect, care, and compatibility. While the initial spark may fade, the deeper connection that replaces it can lead to a more profound and stable bond, provided the relationship is nurtured with effort, communication, and understanding. Understanding the biological basis of romantic love helps us see why it feels so intense initially and why it requires work over time to maintain. It also reminds us that love is not just about chemistry, but also about building a partnership that thrives on shared values, emotional support, and a willingness to navigate life's challenges together. Recognizing this balance between biology and effort can help us cultivate relationships that endure beyond the fleeting highs of passion. Instead of seeking love as a perfect, all-encompassing source of happiness, we can embrace a more balanced and realistic perspective. Love is not about avoiding pain or finding someone who completes us. It's about growing together, supporting one another, and sharing life's ups and downs. When we approach love with realistic expectations, it becomes less about chasing an ideal and more about appreciating the connection and effort that make it meaningful. Ultimately, love is not a guaranteed or singular path to happiness. It is neither the flawless fairy tale often depicted in movies and stories, nor a magical solution to all of life's challenges. Instead, love is a complex and multifaceted experience, capable of enriching our lives in profound ways when approached with realism and a balanced perspective. It has the potential to bring joy, companionship, and a sense of belonging, but only when we move beyond the myths of perfection and embrace the deeper truths about what it means to truly connect with another person. To cultivate meaningful relationships, it is essential to redefine our expectations of love, rather than expecting it to be a cure-all for unhappiness or a perpetual source of euphoria. We should view love as one piece of a larger puzzle that contributes to our overall well-being. Lasting happiness comes from a combination of factors: meaningful relationships, personal growth, purposeful living, and the ability to find joy in everyday moments. When we let go of the notion that love must fulfill all our emotional needs, we open ourselves to a more grounded and authentic experience of connection. Building genuine connections requires effort, understanding, and vulnerability. A fulfilling relationship is not about finding someone who fits an idealized mold or meets every expectation. Instead, it's about choosing to support and grow with someone whose values and goals align with our own. It's about navigating life's imperfections together, embracing challenges, and celebrating victories as a team. Love, in this sense, becomes a partnership rooted in trust, empathy, and mutual respect. While love may not always be the grand, sweeping romance promised in fairy tales, that doesn't diminish its value. On the contrary, its imperfections and challenges are what make it deeply human and worthwhile. Love's greatest beauty lies in its capacity to teach us about ourselves, to foster compassion, and to remind us of our shared humanity. It's a journey that, when embraced with an open heart and a realistic mindset, can lead to personal growth and a richer, more meaningful life. Though love may not guarantee unending happiness, it remains one of life's most profound and transformative experiences. By focusing on nurturing authentic relationships and appreciating love for what it truly is, a blend of joy, effort, and vulnerability, we can create bonds that bring depth and fulfillment without placing unrealistic demands on them. Love may not be the fairy tale we once dreamed of, but it can still be a beautiful, rewarding, and deeply enriching part of our lives. For reasons why you're never happy. 1. Comparing yourself to others. Continuously comparing yourself to others can be a major obstacle to your growth. We often compare ourselves to others in every aspect, from grades, job titles, income to houses, and even social media interactions. Comparison is a path to dissatisfaction, depression, and anxiety, because comparison always pushes you to look at people who are more successful than you, ignoring your own inherent values and focusing only on the things you lack in life. Therefore, before comparing yourself to anyone else, you should look at your positive points as well as the things you are lucky to have in life. In addition, you also need to regularly ask yourself, what is the best thing in my life right now? This can help you appreciate and cherish the unique and valuable experiences in your life. 2. Blame the situation. People who refuse to admit or take responsibility for their mistakes often find it difficult to maintain relationships in life. Therefore, they cannot find happiness in their lives when they always think that the cause of all problems lies with others, not with themselves. When something bad happens, we cannot deny all responsibility and blame external circumstances. Sometimes, each person must ask themselves and consider whether they contributed to the unwanted situation or not. For example, in an argument, the cause of the problem cannot come from one side. Each person must take part in finding a solution to the current situation. Think more carefully about themselves and admit their mistakes if they are the ones who caused the mistake. 3. Not accepting the situation. Part of the true beauty of life comes from the unpredictability. Learning to accept the reality of different situations will help you to overcome the unexpected with more grace and peace. Instead of always seeing yourself as a victim and asking yourself, why am I going through this? You should ask questions that help you approach and solve the problem more easily, such as, how can I overcome this sadness? What can I learn from this? Who should I call for support/talk to? Practicing acceptance of life circumstances now will help you to deal with future crises in a calm manner and see the problem from a more positive perspective. 4. Easily distracted by electronic devices. With the amount of information constantly updated on the internet today, it is difficult for us to take our eyes off the phone and computer screens to keep up with social trends and not fall behind. This makes us distracted from the present moment and constantly change our thoughts while scrolling through the screen, leading to consequences such as reduced productivity, stress, anxiety disorders, or even mental exhaustion. If not used properly, electronic devices such as smartphones and computers distract us and make us unable to focus on our current life. Besides, they can make us feel negative and compare ourselves with people around us on social networks. Therefore, sometimes we need to slow down a bit, turn off our phones, and stay in every moment of the present. Focus and develop our own values to be able to build a happier, gentler, and more peaceful life.